Hi, it's Ronnie, and welcome to Crystal Barrett's May I Scraplift You. And the creative scrapper that I am lifting today is Julie Taylor. And on Instagram, she is at Julie9699. And she created this layout. And I remember seeing them last summer, late summer maybe. And I thought, man, if I wasn't so bad at angles, I would try it. Well, I didn't till now. Angles are totally out of my comfort zone. And I have to admit that this is the second photo. I did much worse on the first one, but this one's acceptable. I'm showing the dies that I'll be using, the Tim Holtz camera die, the picture wheel die, the tree rings die, and then the rest is 49 and Market. Different collections, I think, Naturalist, the Curator's Medal, and the leaves, I think, is one of the essential things. And they're the mini ones that I'm going to be using. I did save a template in case I ever wanted to do this again. Um, all I had to do is walk away from it and think about it, then go back, and it worked out all right. I'm not saying perfect, but all right. I am cutting the top tabs off of this camera. I cut it out twice, and then I layered several pieces of the black cardstock on the front of the other one. And this one I'm going to add uh, it right on top. And then because of the cardstock, it will look like the tabs that I didn't cut off on the bottom one is a little farther back and give it dimension. I had stuff piled on top of this, and I guess I lost one of the little button things. So I am going to use a little tiny circle thing there on the wishing bubble. So I guess it's a wishing bubble. And I want to use it in place of one of the buttons. I used some metallic cardstock that wasn't glossy, wasn't the mirror kind, for parts of the camera. And I am highlighting the edges like it's kind of on the worn side in the white, since it is a vintage camera. Well, it's good. Even if it was not vintage, there's a good chance it being black. I might have done that anyway. These are the tree rings, and it comes with a cutting die and embossing folders. And then after you emboss them, you ink them to make them look more like a tree ring. And I usually use craft, but I ran across a scrap that was a little lighter than craft, so I used it instead. You can tell over there to the right, the paper that's laying under them is craft, and it was already embossed and it's wood grain. And I've got a brown one and that one too, because I wasn't sure which one I wanted to use at the end for my punches there. And I'm only going to end up using the small one. I am using a little die there that's a film strip on the bottom right. Over there on the left hand side, that nice big one, my friend Debbie gave it to me, and I wished I'd cut it apart when I used it so it'd be longer, because I end up covering up the bottom. That wasn't my intention, but I end up doing that. I am making a cluster here. There is not a cluster on Julie's there, but she had a cluster going all the way up on her left-hand side and all the way down. And I decided to put part of my embellishments over to the right. I think she likes embellishments about as much as I do. Some people like more. Um, oh, I forgot to put my tree ring on there, so I've got to kind of tuck it in. I had it all pictured in my head. And I will not notice this until I am taking the photos at the end. But see that line of blue down there at the bottom of my um, cluster? You can see it right across there. Well, that's the only bright blue on the whole thing. So when I'm taking the pictures, I'm going to cut a label in half and ink it and tuck it right there. And that way the blue will be covered up. But it is in the photos at the end because I did it before. Well, I took two photos and then I noticed it, and then I took them over again. And I don't think I mentioned that's my granddaughter Reagan there. And I was hunting for a photo where it looked, well, this was a landscape photo. So I had plenty of area in the background, but I changed it into an 8 by 10 portrait. and I cropped it where there was enough on the left that I could make those beam looking things over there coming out to the photo. And I considered making punch art movie camera and having it like it, showing it from the side and then coming out there. But I noticed she actually had a picture wheel in hers, and I thought, well, I can go ahead and put the picture wheel there. And maybe if I ever do this again, do the other thing with the movie camera. Maybe if I ever do this again. If you ever do it, this is a hint. I cut straight on the photo because I've seen videos where they did. They did awesome. Not me. I used a 8.5 by 11. Well, this is an 8 by 10. It's 8.5 by 11 because I guess I hit the wrong thing when I printed it. The first time it was 8 by 10. Second time, no. Anyway, I used a paper. That's how I got my template and got it right. Well, I actually got it right on the first try, but I got it right. And then I went ahead and laid it on top of the photo with some little paper clips and cut them out so they'd be the same size. I did cut the picture wheel out of one of the naturalist papers, the kind of red looking one. I actually bought a couple extra of those just so I could use the red for my die cuts. And I used a black one also, and that way it kind of looks shadowed because I offset it a little bit and put it one on top of the other. Now, see my title up there? That's where I planned on putting it, and it is Seek and Discover. Well, then I remembered I wanted to put these cute hearts, which are called primitive hearts that Ella Connor had gave me a couple years ago. And I wanted to have them on there. Well, once I get it on there and get it where I want it, and the other one, because I am putting two, I can't put my title there. So it ends up at the bottom, and that's how that ends up getting covered at the bottom. And if I had realized I was going to do that, I would have definitely cut it off and brought it down a little farther so it could show off itself at the bottom too. I am adding the mini foliage, and this is my first time using them, although I've had them for months. I mean, probably October, November. It's been a while. But I thought, well, I'm going to go ahead and use them on this one so I can lay them over the top of the photo and you can still see the photo beneath it. And that was my intent for the first one going on the page. And of course, it's not over the photo any more than that one practically. Um, but I am putting them around there, and they're not quite as easy to cut apart as the other ones. You have to cut the plastic that is holding the two leaves together and to tuck them and place them places you want them, which I had to learn as I went because I kept forgetting. But in the end, I like them really well on the layout. Um, I kept seeing those big ones, and I thought, man, they're so big. I really don't know if I want them. And then one day I seen the mini, and they were, well, I had a coupon, and so I got the whole order with the coupon, and they just sat there till now. I added foam tape behind my camera, and I'm just going to nestle it right there at the bottom. And as you can see, where it's at, you can still see the film strip. Yeah, but that title and then a few leaves cover it up pretty good. I have scrapped Julie before because when we were doing Mixed Media Frenzy, there was a few times that her layouts were chosen for the Mixed Media Frenzy. She probably just cut her picture out as she went. She probably did like most people and just cut it and went with the flow. Me, I stressed over it instead because it's angles. I first thought I'd put my camera on there straight, like on the paper straight, even though I had the film strip angled. But when I went to put it on there and actually adhere it down, I decided I'd go ahead and have it angled at the same, well, thereabouts, same angle as the film strip instead. So, of course, then my title had to be angled a little bit too. Now, I am you are seeing me put liquid glue on the end of these. I figure it worked on sequins all the time, so it should work on these. But I'm making sure I'm kind of tucking them down into the sticky foam tape, so they'll have another anchor there too. See that butterfly up there on the left? It's a different color from the other two. I picked it up, well, it was in the floor, so I'd lost it during one of my layouts. I figure the harvest one, I guess, because I got to looking at it when I went to ink it, and I thought, well, it's not even the same color. So I will put it back in the tray and use a rub-on instead. I was probably talking about something else while I was putting the critters on, but the critters are from Curator's Metal. There's several really cute little critters in the um, laser cuts. I am thinking I'm done, so of course I'm putting my splatters on, and I'm using Mr. Huey's bookworm, and then I will remember that I forgot the little branches, and so I'm inking the one that's a lighter color and going ahead and using it, and just the branch that's a smaller one, which is a Tim Holtz punch. I will also remember my sequins. I had them in a cart on Cherry on Top. I know for a year they're Craft Consortium, and I kept thinking they would go with the Naturalist collection, which I'd had for a while, and just never got around hardly to ever doing a layout because I used all my outdoors photos, it seemed like. Take it out and save it for later. Well, the last time I went to a Cherry on Top, they had it on clearance. So I only had to pay a couple of dollars for it, and I got it. And yes, it does go with this collection. So since this is the first time I thought of using them while doing a layout, I decided that even though I looked like I was done with the splatters, I was going to add the sequins. So they will go on last, and then I'll be done. So while I'm doing that, I want to mention that down there below, Julie's link to her Instagram account. It will be up there so you can check out any other layouts she has done. And also Crystal's master link for the playlist where all of the videos will be there. So you can just click on one link to watch the videos. There's my sequence. Oh, and I do want to mention that I wanted them because I tried to get some of the Spiegelmom scraps for earthy tone looking things, and they were out every time I tried. And then I think they were gone. But yeah, they go quick on that website because she makes some really good sequins mixes. But there's my layout with the sequins on there. And I didn't put a whole lot, but you can tell there's like an earth tone taupey color and then green and white and clear. So there is a variety there. And I like a variety in my sequins mix, except for the Christmas one with the peppermint. I love that one all by itself. But yeah, that's my layout. And I had fun creating it, even though I had trouble and had to print the photo twice. But yeah, I walked away and thought I could do it with paper first. Maybe I won't be stressed. I wasn't stressed with that white paper. There's a big difference in a photo, and it worked. But yeah, if you leave a comment down there below, I'll try to get back with you. And if you like the video and hit a thumbs up, I'd appreciate it. And if you are not subscribed to my channel, I would love to have you subscribe. And those of you already are, thank you so very much. And thank you all for watching my video today. I hope you find a layout you'd like to scrap lift. And yeah, there's plenty on there, and I know everybody on here creates to inspire. So you can scrap lift any of theirs, and everybody that is getting scrapped has already said that uh, you're welcome to scrap lift them. But yeah, there's my larger cluster. And those leaves kind of have a glare, so it kind of makes it off just a little bit. But I think it'll look all right in the sleeve because, you know, they're kind of glary anyway. But have a happy scrappy week. Have fun with the playlist down there. Bye.